With me on the left, we have a Greddy Type FV blow-off valve. And on the right, we have a Greddy Type FV blow-off valve. But what are the two differences? Well, one is authentic and one is counterfeit. Can you tell which one is which? Let me know which one you think is authentic in the comment section. If you guys said that the left one is the authentic one, well, guess what? You guys are wrong. That is the counterfeit product. What up? Y'all can call me Zilla. If you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel and show appreciation by liking my video real quick. Real quick, guys. Doesn't take very long. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the key differences between the two, starting with the box. So honestly, when it comes down to the box, you can't really tell the difference. Now, the only thing that I would say is that the counterfeit one actually is a little faded compared to the authentic one. The authentic one has a nice little gloss to it, and the saturation of the colors are much brighter. Another thing to note with the box is that the counterfeit item is much thicker than the Greddy blow-off valve box. As you can see, this box here is corrugated, so you see all those little grooves, and it makes it a little squishier. Greddy's box is not corrugated. It is thinner, but the box feels firmer. And you can also tell that you have an authentic or a counterfeit item because the authentic one actually comes with a label, and the counterfeit one, the retailer never slapped a label on the box. But other than that, it's the identical same box between both of them. Now, inside the box, it's still very similar. You have the blow-off valves, you have blue hose, you have your hardware, and you have your instructions. Now, the authentic one, it looks like a copy, like it's been copied over and over and over. The authentic one actually looks very good. The ink is very strong and bold. The ink is very noticeable. Over here is kind of faded. So with the counterfeit hardware, as you can tell, it looks okay. If you were to see this, you would think, okay, it looks like, you know, Greddy's hardware. But if you compare it to Greddy's hardware, you can tell that the T-fittings are barbed. The Allen screw comes with a washer, and the bolt itself has ridges versus the bolt from here, which has no ridge, and there's no washer here as well. And you get these clamps that don't come with the Greddy hardware. Greddy's gasket is a lighter blue, and it is much thicker than the counterfeit part. On the right is a Greddy authentic tubing, and on the left is the Chinese tubing. Greddy's is much thinner, has the same inner diameter, but one thing to notice is that Greddy's tubing actually says Greddy. The Chinese one has no lettering or no stamping of Greddy anywhere. Now let's get into the bread and butter, the blow-off valves. So starting with the left, that is obviously the counterfeit one, which you won't really be able to tell if you don't have that kind of eye, or you were just new to the Greddy blow-off valves. But I'm gonna go ahead and dissect the differences between both the authentic and the counterfeit. So let's start with the counterfeit. As you can tell, the blue colors are more of an anodized and higher saturation, so they're much brighter than the authentic one. The screw on the top, on the left, is much shorter than the authentic one, and the nut on top is different. The nut on the counterfeit has a bevel, versus the authentic one, which is just a nut. Another thing to notice is that the counterfeit hardware on the blow valve itself is not grooved like the Greddy authentic. Color on the top portion of the counterfeit item drastically is different than, I wouldn't say drastically, it's much different than the authentic one. The authentic one is more of a silver hue, and this one is more of a bluish hue. The Greddy label on the Chinese version is much thicker, it's compared to, let's say, the 3M interior carbon fiber pieces that people put in their cars. It feels like that, and it's pretty much glossy. On the authentic one, it's flat. There's no gloss to it. There's a small little shine, but it's totally different. Another thing is the finish of the blow-off valves. They're pretty much almost like a mirror finish slash anodized. So it's kind of really hard to tell the difference between the two. I can't really explain it. But on the actual blow-off valve itself, on the authentic one, as you can see on the edges, they're much sharper. These are rounded off, and they're not supposed to be rounded off. Over here behind the label, they left, the edge over here, and over here they grounded it off. Where you actually bolt this up is a little different. This cutout here is much more aggressive versus the authentic one. Now, the diaphragm itself inside, the Chinese one has a much larger opening versus the Greddy one, which does not have that big of an opening. Now to the bottom, you're gonna obviously tell the difference between a Greddy blow valve and a Chinese blow valve. You can obviously tell that the authentic one has a tinted yellow ring. This actual plate here has a rounded center, and this one is more of a flat. The counterfeit product has washers that are much larger than the head of the screw or the bolt, versus the authentic one, which has some clearish plastic washers which are noticeably different. Now for the cone in the front, the counterfeit one is pretty much straight through. It has a small concavity in the inside, deep inside, but this one, on the authentic one, it's much more of a smooth, like sort of velocity stack look. You can also tell around the ring here on the authentic blow valve, it's grooved, much more pronounced than the Chinese one. The camera can't really catch it, but it's much more pronounced than the Chinese one. The nipple on the back side where the vacuum is, it's much different. On the Greddy authentic, it has a small little lip, and on the Chinese one, there's a much bigger lip here. Now to the labels, there's a huge difference, and this is what caught my eye when I'm like, okay, this is not authentic, because the FV does not look like the box. The label over here clearly looks like an identical replica of the box. They screwed up with this one. They almost caught me, but this is what threw me off, because honestly, this blow valve looked authentic to me. And I started looking more into details on how Greddy actually, makes these products. And honestly, Greddy would not allow a crap product to go out on the market. Another thing that threw me off was that since I ordered two, it was actually a great thing for me because I could tell the difference between the two. These two blow-off valves look identical, which they should. There should be some type of quality control. These two are not identical. And that's what led me to believe that I have a counterfeit product. The quality control on these are garbage. This one looked pretty much identical. I almost thought it was a legit Greddy blow-off valve. But once I saw this one, I'm like, okay, quality control is garbage. This is definitely Chinese. Look at the finish on this. It's chipped up here. It has rough, sharp edges around these opening slots. And this looks like it was dremeled. Like they polished the edge off. One thing where I noticed for sure is the label. Look what they messed up. They put the label upside down. Greddy will not allow their products to go out of the line into a customer's hands looking like this. This is obviously trash. And you shouldn't have to pay more than $10 for this crap. Look at this. If you see blow valves that are like this, damaged and painted over, that's obviously Chinese counterfeit item. I don't want you guys to get bamboozled like I almost did, and that's why I'm doing this video, and I hope you guys actually find this very informative. So please, if you do give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. I'm gonna put these on my Q50, which nobody has done yet. So if you wanna see how I do that, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, Zillas.